Hi guys, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us in the first of our series of Lights, Pixels, Insights. I'm Tom Birch from Pixel Artworks. So just a little bit of housekeeping to start off. You're watching today's stream through our platform called Xtend. A few things to note. At the bottom of the screen, little square, if you click that screen, it should send your browser into full screen mode. There's a little like at the bottom, so you can click likes, and don't be afraid if you see other thumbs up floating around the place. That's just other people who are watching the stream liking. At the top, there's a 360 camera. If you click on that, you're going to see a sort of behind the scenes view as to where we are today and how this is all put together. Just beware, it's a live stream, so there's a delay on that stream there. And that also applies, guys. If you want to ask any questions, there's a little question bubble at the bottom. If it's working on your device, you'll be able to see it. If you can't see a question bubble, that's because you can't ask a question. So I think that's it, guys. Little backdrop to me at the moment is our Immersive showroom in London. If you haven't been here before, we thought we'd just share a quick VT to show you the room I'm in at the moment. Okay, so the world is changing fast and our industry is changing almost as fast as any other. The rate of innovation in the event and media space is rapid at the moment. And rather than doing hundreds of demos each week to different clients around the world, there was broad appeal to us bringing that together and putting together these stream sessions, which we'll do once a month, where we'll share either our innovation or innovation from the wider industry. The idea is it's 20 minutes to know more than you knew before. So it's short, sharp, punchy, and today we're going to cover off 4 topics. First, we're going to look at creating content for virtual or hybrid events. Then we're going to do a demo of some live Zoom feed integration into a virtual stage or a 3D world. Then we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into the Xtend platform, see how that can be used across different sectors and look at a user journey in media. And then at the end, we're going to touch on some of the R&D we've been doing in the background with drone technology. So first up, a bit on creating content for virtual or hybrid events. There's a lot of questions being asked at the moment as to whether the content workflow needs to be either a pre-rendered workflow, does it need to be a real-time workflow, should it be created in Notch, do I need to use one of the many LED stages with live camera tracking that are popping up all over London and increasingly all over the world. So to help illustrate this point and answer some of these questions, we produced a concept of a hybrid event launch. And afterwards, I'm going to talk about just the content creation pipeline as to how we got to that result and whether it was real-time or pre-rendered. So the video you're about to see supposes a hybrid event launch. You've got a small localized event with an LED stage in the background and an LED floor beneath it. And then that transitions into a broadcast to a wider global audience. So let's have a look at the VT and then quickly answer the content creation workflow afterwards. So in that example there, even though we're using an LED stage as a backdrop and on the floor, the content creation pipeline is actually pre-rendered in that example. All we need to know is the exact position of the camera as we transition from the live event to the broadcast stream. And as long as the content is rendered from that exact camera position, then we can seamlessly transition between those two feeds. Now, this is important when it comes to designing virtual or hybrid events because of the content production and workflow requirements around real-time environments are very different to pre-rendered. And actually, to create the look and feel that we created in that clip there within a real-time environment would be a really demanding task in its own right. So that there was actually a pre-rendered pipeline in Octane to give that really high production value and look and feel. So now we can look at a slightly different demo. Lauren, one of my colleagues, is sat in our satellite studio just down the road from us, and we're going to bring her in on a live feed into a 3D virtual world. And just before we go over to Lauren, you're going to watch a bit of an intro. Obviously, the intro is pre-rendered, and then we transition into that live environment. So over to Lauren now.
Hi everyone, I'm Lauren. So you should all be able to see me sat within a virtual stage. As Tom said, I'm actually in the office down the road in a meeting room. In front of me I can see 2 monitors and the camera. I've got some lights next to me to hopefully make me look better. Behind me is a green screen. So it's a really simple setup and can be obviously scaled up if needed. Although I'm in a virtual conference set right now, this really can be anything you imagine. So I could be on another planet, or it could be a completely branded space. You can even do some camera moves, so we can move to a wide camera angle. And now you should be able to see more of the set. For those of you at the back of the conference, I might seem quite small, so I can even put myself up on the LED screen behind me. There you go. So although this is brief, I hope this gives you a bit of insight into what's creatively possible with a virtual set. And that's all from me. So back to you, Tom.
Thanks, Lauren. So as mentioned, Lauren could be coming on a Zoom feed, a direct video feed, or a broadcast feed over NDI from any setup anywhere in the world. Okay, enough about content creation and virtual events now, guys. Let's have a little look at the Xtend platform that you're watching this stream through today. So I'm going to give you a quick demo of the site and show you what's possible with Xtend. Okay, so first of all, you'll have noticed, guys, when you logged in, there's a sort of customizable login interface at the front there. It's as frictionless as possible. So then I enter into this Xtend world. Now, you'll notice this one is slightly different to the one that you're looking at the moment. All of your targets around the background have been turned off. And this is our Pixel Artworks world, so very much designed for you to customize with your own clients and campaign content. At the bottom of your screen, if you missed the beginning, there's a lot of people who've joined since the beginning. There's a little bit of navigation, so full screen mode at the bottom, likes, and then a question tab to ask a question if it's supported on your device. So front and center is the streaming functionality of Xtend. The idea is that you can bring in multiple streams from multiple different cameras. We're showing just a couple of streams here, but you could have 5, 10, 15 different streams around your event. Then in the various targets that are around the space, and your targets around in your world will be switched on later, you can go in and you can explore various different concepts in content for virtual, hybrid, or other worlds. You can also move into different worlds. So if I click on the previous projects tab here, we transition down into a different space. Here, the backdrop is made in a different way. We've got a 360 photo as the backdrop. And you can see some of our previous work here. Some work we've done streaming on Twitch, ITV, etc. Go back to the main world here. There's 2 bits of functionality that we want to look at. Principally the pre-order, which allows you to link to any call to action. This could be a purchase transmission or a purchasing site, or test a digital conversion. So if we now jump back to our main feed, so a bit of a summary as to what you can do with Xtend and what you can't do with Xtend. It's not a full-on virtual reality gaming environment where you can run, jump, and join an experience with 10 people. That really is the realm of the big gaming platforms, Fortnite, etc. But you can do an awful lot more than you can do with it with a conventional event platform. It's also got applications outside the event space. So if you imagine immersive installations of the future, you can imagine 360 cameras where people can drop in, get a little sneak preview of what that experience is about, if it was a Garden of Light or a Team Lab-esque experience. And then perhaps it might be a time-limited experience where then it encourages you to purchase a ticket or book an appointment on that slot there. Or it can be used in media and out-of-home advertising, which is a big part of our industry. So we'll look at a quick user journey as to how you might find yourself using Xtend to amplify one of your live campaigns and turn it into a truly global campaign. So perhaps you might receive an invitation, join us at 7 p.m. for the launch of ABC. Then 24 hours beforehand, some more content might come through via social. Then 3 minutes beforehand, perhaps you're walking down the street in Paris and you get a notification on a social channel saying, click here. Then you enter an Xtend world similar to the world that you're in at the moment. It tells you the live stream starting. You can see there's different streams. There might be a helicopter stream. You've got a minute to go, so you tap a button there to have an interview. You look at a bit of influencer content, which might be a quick 60-second short, sharp session. The show's about to go live. You can see that people from all around the world have logged in to watch the show. Then there's your Skyline Spectacular, which unfolds on the screen in front of you. As the show's finishing, you notice this world sort of turning on around you. And an option pops up here to pre-order, which could be to book a test drive if it's the car launch, for example, or some other digital conversion strategy. In the background, your social teams have been there. The event's also streamed on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. It's just one of those streams that's been brought into Xtend. And so they're encouraging people to go to the Xtend version of the site. Because what's interesting on Xtend compared to on a YouTube stream is the amount of data that you can extract from your audience. So obviously, total number of viewers, number of conversions, pre-orders, test drives, average length of experience, what they liked, whether they liked the influencer content, whether it was shared, etc. So there's a huge amount of data that you can collect off the back of an Xtend campaign. And probably right to notice that actually the stream that you're watching today in the middle of Xtend is a YouTube Live stream. So YouTube Live, very little data. Xtend stream, lots of data. Okay, so lastly, we're going to touch on some of our research and development we've been doing with drone show technology in the background. So we've been working with a drone show manufacturer and one of the drone show software providers to really push the boundaries of what's possible from a creative perspective with drone shows, moving away from a collection of dots into the sky to way more creative possibilities. So we'll take a look at our first concept here. Here we show how an event without a live audience could work. So perhaps you've got someone sending in a message from anywhere into our social integration system, which we've used on the roof of O2 and many other campaigns in the past. Then a swarm of drones might fly up into the sky. Then they would then draw through moving through predetermined points in the sky this message. Long exposure photography captures that message and then sends it back down that social channel. A different type of concept takes the same idea and moves it into a live environment. Now here we're probably pushing the boundaries of exactly what's possible. But here you've got a concept where you've got someone drawing a caricature or writing a message. That's then sent to some drones, and we've really worked on the speed at which we can get this information to the drones. The swarm of drones then takes off into the sky, writes that message, captures it, and then sends it back to the live audience. So some exciting developments in that space. We're doing our next test flight on the 14th of September. If you've got ideas or things that you want to sort of throw into the mix or get involved in any of that testing and R&D in the background, then please get in touch and we're happy to work with you on those ideas. So guys, that was the 4 topics that we're going to cover. I'm just going to go down and see which questions that we have had since we've been on air, and we've got quite a few. I will do my best to answer as many of these as possible. We've got a few minutes to go. And in the background, we're going to turn on the rest of the features of the Xtend platform, so those targets, so that you can start exploring other content as the session comes to an end. So Jessica asked, can chat functionality be implemented into the Xtend? Yeah, of course, at the moment we've just got a one-way channel coming in. I can see all the streams at the bottom here and the list of questions, how many people are online, etc. But if you want a two-way chat, then that certainly can be implemented. How many people can you bring into a virtual stage at one go, and do they need to be captured from the same location? There's not a theoretical limit on the number of people you can bring into a virtual stage. It's just a question, I guess, of tiling or how many different people you can sit behind the desk or the furniture or whatever you've got on that virtual stage. But they could be, I think, sorry, just to go back to the question, yeah, they can be from anywhere in the world. If Lauren wasn't in the satellite studio, she could be in Spain. And Ronald, I've seen that you were on the call earlier. We did a demo with Ronald in Spain going back a few weeks ago, looking at that. Next question on the data. Can we track data, and is it customizable on Xtend? Yeah, it all depends really on the login and the functionality that we use at the beginning of the login process. We've got various options there. You can customize that. And if you want to build a specific data set around your campaign, then that can be done. As per the end of that user journey slide, we were principally looking at number of users, average session time, where they spent their time, email addresses, and then if they were using the pre-order function or whatever that digital call to action or conversion is. What else have we got on here? I'm trying to find something that's sort of generally relevant. And perhaps how long does it take to do an to produce an Xtend campaign? Well, Xtend, the development for Xtend is being completed in the background. So that's something we've been working on for the last 3 months or so. So it's actually now relatively quick to customize that with your own content to turn it into a graphic. So perhaps, I don't know, 4 weeks at an absolute squeeze. Adam, you've just sent a message. This can be the last one, guys. Sorry, there's a delay as the questions come in too, so I'm just sort of trying to deal with that. Can you do breakout rooms or sessions? Can you integrate calendars and allow guests to book meetings with people? Can you host these meetings within the platform? In short, the first part of it's reasonably straightforward. Yes, you could do breakout sessions and you could have different people in different worlds around the space. At the moment, we don't support the functionality to be able to allow guests to book meetings in with people. But that could be done as a specific bit of development. The Xtend platform sits as a kind of like a central sort of framework of in-outs and streams and inputs. So if you need something specific for a campaign or for an event series, then we can probably develop that. Guys, I'm conscious of the time because it's just coming up. It's coming up to 20 past, and we said we were going to keep these sessions short and sweet. So if you've got any other questions, by all means, ping them in or send them in by email. If you've got any feedback on the functionality or anything that you've seen or experienced today, this is probably the largest live session that we've done on Xtend, so please put your comments and feedback or send an email if your device wasn't supported. I think that's probably about it, apart from just to say that the next session is going to be on Wednesday, the 30th of September. We can do the last Wednesday of each month. 2 p.m. Be a completely different setup, different format. We're actually going to be having a face-to-face conversation and meeting in that space. So thanks for joining us. If you want to share this content, it will become available to watch this on the same platform or the same URL, the Xtend Live platform that you've seen probably in about an hour or so's time today. And of course, if you want to look at the main Xtend site, then xtend.pixelartworks.com is there, and you can explore 360 tours of our immersive showroom. So thanks for joining us, and until next time, we'll see you then. Bye.